Hey friends, it's Amy, the Keto Queen. Is it Wednesday yet? I don't even know. That's sad, isn't it? It is Wednesday. It's hump day. That's sad. It is after 5 o'clock, and I'm just now realizing today is hump day. I hope you guys are having a good one. Mine's been pretty busy. I didn't know I hit start on my live when I hit start, so I'm trying to get all together here. I hope you guys are having a great day. Let me know where you're watching from and what you're doing for dinner tonight. We are making some ranch chops, which is one of my family's favorites. My daughter requested this. And we're making some skillet green beans. So I'm going to show you how simple it is to put this together. And then, guys, it's not going to take but 20 minutes at the most to cook. Well, maybe a little longer, depending on how thick your pork chops are. So I'm using my air fryer again tonight. I love my air fryer. Everybody asks me this a million times. It is the Cuisinart TOA60. Cuisinart TOA60. All right, so I've got a little bit of oil in a skillet. And I just sliced up some onions. So I had about a half of a small onion, or half of a medium onion that I sliced up. And then we got some fresh green beans. So I'm going to open up my fresh green bean bag. Okay, if I can open it. And we're just going to throw our fresh green beans inside the skillet. And I have it on about medium-high heat because I wanted to get that onion kind of started. And I don't know if I'm going to have room for both bags, so we're going to try it. I don't think I will, but we're going to try it. Where are you guys watching from, and what's your plans for dinner tonight? What is low-carb or keto-friendly that you plan to eat? Look at this big skillet. I don't know if those green beans are going to cook very good in this. I'm going to have to transfer this over to another skillet. I got a bigger skillet, but I don't want to wash it. Look at this. Ricky, I don't know if this is going to work. All right, so I'm using 2 fresh bags of green beans because my daughter told me to make sure I have plenty of green beans so she'd have leftovers for work tomorrow.
They'll cook down.
How, they'll cook down?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll try it. We're going to try it like this instead of having to wash a dish. Because I don't want to wash a dish. If you have a big skillet, use a big skillet if you're going to use 2 bags. But we just sliced up about a half of a medium onion. And I've got it frying in here with some, or sauteing, I guess you could say, with some avocado oil. You can use olive oil if you like. And then we just threw in our fresh green beans. And I'm going to throw on some salt and pepper. And we definitely will season these again when they are finished cooking. Hopefully Ricky is right and it'll cook down enough to have room in here. I can stir them up. But we're fixing to put a top on these. And guys, leave them alone. All you have to do is stir them up every once in a while to make sure they're not burning on the bottoms. Let me find me a top. I don't have a top clean either, really. Look, my top barely fits. My top is barely fitting over the green beans. All right, that's all right. We're going to make the best out of it. All right, so my green beans are cooking. So we're just going to leave them alone. We'll stir them up every couple of minutes or every few minutes just to make sure they're not burning because we don't want the onions to burn on the bottom. But it's just sliced onion, fresh green beans, salt, and pepper. Now for the ranch chops, all you need are pork chops or chicken. You can use chicken too. So I have my, I've got bone-in pork chops tonight, center cut. And then you're going to need some ranch. You're going to need some grated Parmesan or pork rind dust. Either one. You can use crushed pork rinds or Parmesan. And a little bit of garlic powder. That's all I use in this recipe. Every once in a while I'll use some parsley. But you just put your grated cheese on a plate with the garlic powder. If you want to season it with anything else, feel free, jump in. You can add anything you'd like. Oregano, I think, would be good in this. But we just primarily use Parmesan cheese. Sometimes I'll use pork rinds, but I like cheese better as far as making a crust for my air fryer. We're going to use some garlic powder, and if you have some parsley or oregano, anything you'd like, salt and pepper your pork chops. Yep, my hands are getting dirty now. Salt and pepper your chops. Always salt and pepper your good meats. And then we're going to dip it in the ranch. Now you don't want to overpower it. We just want to dip it, and then we're going to wipe off the excess. You don't want tons of ranch in there. You just want it to be all over the chop. All right, and then we're going to take it and wrap it, or not wrap it. We're going to wrap it up, y'all. We're going to wrap it in the cheese. So we're making the crust mix now. So we're going to dip it into the Parmesan. And again, wipe off excess, and then put this in the air fryer basket. Super simple. I mean, who loves simple, easy, keto, delicious dinners? That's me in my house. So salt and pepper the pork chops. How many times do I have to wash your salt and pepper shakers? I wash mine all the time because my hand gets dirty. All right, salt and pepper, ranch. Wipe off the excess. Actually, you just want to make sure it's all over the pork chop. This will make the crust adhere to the chop. This is a big old chop. Oh, mercy. Look, now this is nasty. My hands are getting gross. All right. And then we're going to put it into the pork rinds. Or not pork rinds. I'm doing grated Parmesan. Whether you use pork rinds or grated Parmesan, you're making your own crust. I really like the Parmesan cheese because it crusts up really good in the air fryer. I use pork rinds on occasion too. And then again, wipe off or knock off the excess. And I'll put this one in the air fryer basket. So that's a big pork chop. That's taking up a lot of room. All right, let's get a small one. Salt. Pepper. I could have salt and peppered them all at the same time. That would have been easier, wouldn't it? Ranch. And crust. You can make this as seasoned as you want to. So like I said, if you have parsley or if you want to add oregano, if you want to add red pepper flakes, that sounds super yummy. Anything you'd like. I need another small pork chop if I have one. I do not have a small one. I'll make this one work. All right, salt and pepper. I'm fixing to wash my hands and then we'll come and see if you guys have any questions for me tonight. I hope you guys have had a great day. I just realized when I got home, I started the video, honestly, that it's hump day. It does not feel like Wednesday. I don't know what it feels like. It doesn't feel like Wednesday. It's been a pretty wild work week so far. My son is off on a little short vacation. Him and his girlfriend. I just love her to death. So I've been kind of bored at work because we share an office, my son and I. I've got a lot of stuff going on. But I have been just a little bored in the office by myself. All right, dipping it in the crust and then transfer into the air fryer. All right, let me wash my hands real fast and I'm gonna stick this in and be right back. That took some serious washing. I had a lot of stuff in my hands. Okay, let's go ahead and stir these green beans up and see if I can get them stirred up. And then I'm gonna look and see if you guys have any questions for me. All right, we're making air fried ranch pork chops. You can use this with chicken or pork or turkey. You can use this with whatever kind of meat you'd like. I love chops though. We love pork chops in our house. My husband really gets tired of chicken really easy. I have no idea why, because he eats pork chops all the time. You'd think he'd get tired of pork chops. But I love pork chops too, so I like to switch it up. And you guys will see me make a lot of pork chop recipes, but you can use the same ingredients and the same sauces and make chicken instead. So just because I'm eating pork a lot doesn't mean you have to. I do love ground beef recipes when I can find a good one because ground beef is cheap. But I get tired of eating the same ground beef recipes. There's not a whole lot that I have found. All right, stirred that up. So my green beans, let me put this in the oven first. I found my air fryer and we're gonna turn on air fry. A lot of people ask me if I use bake. I don't ever have used the bake setting on my air fryer. We just use the air fryer. So it's on air fryer, 350, I'll make 10 minutes. We will definitely check it out and I'll probably have to cook it at least 5 more minutes because they're a little thicker than they were the other night. We're making a super simple dinner. So skillet green beans, my family loves it. We're just taking an onion. I took about a half of a medium. I took about a half of a medium onion, just sliced it up, put it in olive oil, or avocado oil actually, in my skillet and started cooking the onion down. And then we added fresh green beans. So I'm using 2 bags because my daughter said, please make sure there's leftovers so she can have a lunch tomorrow at work. And then we are making the ranch chops. So guys, this is super easy and delicious. We do it all the time. This is one of those family faves that we put in rotation, and my family does have favorites. They have picks. So what I try to do every week is incorporate something new or something we haven't had in a long time, and then my family favorites, so they are happy. Hey Kathy, I see Dale, Stephanie. How are you guys doing? Let me know if you have any questions while I'm on here. I'm not gonna be on here long because that is how fast we mix our dinner up. It's already in the air fryer. The green beans will take the longest to cook because they do have to cook in that skillet. But this is what I'm talking about, fast, easy keto. Anybody who works crazy hours, anybody who's tired, anybody who has 5 kids, you still can cook keto. It's just about what you're cooking, what you're choosing, how much time you choose to be in the kitchen. Catherine's doing Colorado lemon chicken and broccoli. Oh my goodness, that sounds amazing, Catherine. Will you share the recipe? I love, as long as it has 6 ingredients or less, I'm interested. So send it to me. Kimberly said she had baked fish and fresh green beans with turkey bacon, Parmesan shredded cheese. That sounds so good. I'm going to fix some kind of fish very soon because y'all have been really making me want fish. I generally will only eat fish when I go to a restaurant because I'm not a big fish cooker. I love salmon at a restaurant if it's cooked right, but I have cooked it several times in my house and it always tastes fishy. I have no idea what I'm doing wrong, but I love fresh fish. I eat a lot of fish when I go on vacation to the beach, which will be in September, I think. Rhonda, making egg casserole I made last week. I hope you enjoy it, Rhonda. I had some leftovers for work this week for my lunch and it was so good. Sheila says air fryer is the bomb with pork. Yes, it is. Red pepper flakes added could be great. I actually think I'm gonna pour some on top of mine. I love a little red pepper flakes to spice it up. Faith, that's so funny you just said that. Faith saying I make a lot of pork chops. Her family would complain. My family requests pork chops. It drives me crazy because I would rather switch it up a little bit and have some chicken myself, but I love to cook and they love to eat, so. My green beans, Gladys, if you didn't hear me, we just threw it in a skillet with some sliced onion, salt and pepper, and avocado oil, and we're just gonna let it fry up in there and it's gonna be delicious. Sandra says she does this with bacon grease with her green beans and red pepper flakes. Yum, that sounds good. I've never put red pepper flakes inside my green beans. Sounds good. I have the Cuisinart TOA 60. David said his son made Dolly, I always forget your David. Dolly says her son made the Juicy Lucy. I love those things. Rhonda, I have used pork rinds. I've never bought like the crushed pork rind powder because I figure I can just crush my own because I already have some at the house. So usually what I'll do is put my pork rinds in like a Ziploc bag and then I take my little hammer and just beat it to death. I used to use my hands until it scratched my hands all to pieces and it really hurt. And that's only because I was in a hurry, so I was trying to do a whole handful. But normally I just put them in a bag, beat them to death, and that's how I make my pork rinds for crust. But there are brands of pork rind dust or crushed pork rinds that are sold in canisters for breading. So if you want to do that, you can, but I generally just make my own. Janice, I am using Hidden Valley Ranch. That's what I'm using. All right, let's see. Roasted chicken, brisket burger, and salad. Yum. Let's see. One of my faves is Mississippi pot roast. I love pot roast. I just have never been a pro at cooking it. My granny makes the best roast in the world. My mom makes a really good roast, but I am not good at it. Cauliflower mac and cheese. I hope you like it, Brenda. Let's see. All right, let's see. Can I use raw cauliflower florets in the dinner you made last night? Absolutely. I think it's a good idea to do that. I tried to do the riced cauliflower because I thought my husband might taste it, but I think that thank you, Janice, but I think maybe if I do just a cauliflower and pour cheese sauce over it, he'll eat it because he's not a fan of cauliflower rice. He thinks it's funny that we call it rice because it is not rice. He doesn't care how small it's cut. It is not rice. He'd rather me just say cauliflower. All right, these are smelling delicious. I'm gonna see if I can stir it up. Guys, I'm only gonna stay on here a few minutes just to see if you have any questions because dinner is done. All we're gonna do is stir up our green beans every few minutes to make sure it's not burning on the bottom since I have a lot in a little skillet. And then my pork chops are in the air fryer. I'm gonna tell you again real quick what I did with the pork chops. I will post it in the video. When I finish up this video, I'll go back and put it in the video post. And of course tonight with my plated dinner, you'll also see the recipe. But I just took pork chops. Let me show you. I'm gonna close this back up. Ooh, that's smelling delicious. I love some green beans. All right, so for the pork chop recipe, you only need a couple of things. You need pork chops or chicken. You don't have to use pork. You can use chicken. You can use turkey cutlets. You can use whatever kind of meat you want. I love chicken and I love pork chops. I also buy turkey on occasion. So take your pork chops or your chicken, either one. Make your air fryer crust. I used grated Parmesan. You can use the grated Parmesan or you can use pork rinds. And I added a little bit of garlic powder in my mix, okay? If you want to, you can add parsley, you can add oregano, you can add any seasonings you want to that crust mix. But that's all we did. Grated Parmesan, garlic powder. Mix it up to make your plate for your crust. And then I poured ranch, and I used Hidden Valley Ranch, into another plate just like that. And then you just salt and pepper your chops, dip it in the ranch, dip it in the crust, stick it in your air fryer. Super easy, fast, very few ingredients, and delicious. It's one of my requested meals on a very, very, very rotating request. They love this, and I'm glad they do because it is easy. And it is nice to have requests for easy meals, right? You 100% can use a food processor for the pork rinds as well. Wondering about cholesterol, Wanda. I am not a physician, so I have to tell you I'm not a doctor. Anything I share with you guys is just personal opinion and experience. And I have been keto over 3 years now. I'm working on my 4th year, or I'm in my 4th year keto. As far as cholesterol goes, I can tell you what I've learned, and that is cholesterol fluctuates for every person. Every person has cholesterol already in your body. We all have different organ systems as far as the way they work. So cholesterol may not be a problem for me where it could be for someone else. However, cholesterol is always a concern for heart disease, but there are so many risk markers for heart disease. It's not just cholesterol. There's numerous markers that physicians look at to see if there is fear of heart disease. There are lots of different readings of cholesterol. You don't look at just total cholesterol. There's LDL, HDL. You need to know what your physicians are looking for and make sure you understand what numbers they're giving you. And I'm not afraid of cholesterol. I've never had an issue. I have lots of friends who have done keto for years and years and years, and they have not had issues. If you do, then there are things you can do different. I do a clean, primarily clean keto, simple keto. That's what I do. So I don't have a lot of processed things. And yes, I do have a lot of cheese because I'm not lactose intolerant and it doesn't bother me. But you don't have to have all the things I'm using. So you can actually change up your keto lifestyle, making it more suitable to you and your health. But I can tell you from my personal experience, I haven't had any issues with cholesterol. My doctor actually is getting ready to do my blood work again pretty soon. It's time for my annual visit. 1 year it did climb a little bit, but it was nothing to be concerned about. And I honestly stopped eating a lot of, I think I was eating a lot of ground beef at the time. So I backed off ground beef a little bit and it's gone again. So, you know, we're all a little different, but I'm not afraid of cholesterol. There's lots of information out there on cholesterol and keto, a lot of myth busting on cholesterol. So not to not be afraid, but just be educated is what I say. I have never substituted turnips for potatoes, but my mother-in-law has, and she really enjoyed it. Janice is having steamed broccoli and zucchini. Oh wait, I steamed broccoli, zucchini, or asparagus and add a little olive oil. Yes, ma'am, so good. All right. Rebecca says she thought green beans were were fairly carby. They are higher than like asparagus because asparagus has very little carbs, but they're not high carb. So cabbage would be higher, Brussels sprouts would be higher, but we definitely shake things up in my house. We don't eat the same thing all the time. My husband loves asparagus, and that's probably one of the least amount of carby vegetables we have, other than spinach and things like that. But every vegetable has a carb count. You just kind of have to know how much yours are that you're choosing. Joy says, what temps on the air fryer? I've got my air fryer on 350. I'll cook for 10 full minutes and then I'll check it out and turn it back up if I need to. I got some semi-thick chops, so it'll probably take 15 to 20 minutes to cook these chops today. Every time I tell you guys the length of time or the temperature I'm using doesn't mean that yours is going to be the exact same. It just depends on the thickness of your meat. I always start my timer for 10 minutes and then I check it and then reset it some more. So that's how I kind of manage my air fryer, because I like just turning it on and walking away. Or turning it on and talking to y'all. Let's see. How would you cook the pork chops if not in the air fryer? I would do it the same way. I would stick it on in the oven. I would put it in the oven for 350 and still cook it until it's done. Now your ranch may, drizzle off the side, but that's okay. I think it still would be good. And then you could turn your broiler on at the end to kind of crust it up if you needed to. Let's see. So Rebecca, I don't have my calculator in front of me or my internet open in front of me, but if you'll Google the carb count in green beans, I think it's roughly four carbs in a cup. I could be wrong. I don't want to tell you exactly. I always have to Google because I look at so many things through the day and answer so many questions. I get them mixed up sometimes. But I haven't had any carbs today, so I'm good with my carb count. But if you will just look, I do a simple Google, how many carbs in green beans, and it'll give you some information. Who I sound like. A lot of people say I sound like Dolly Parton. Just because I'm in Tennessee doesn't mean I sound like Dolly. I wish I sounded like Dolly Parton. but I think it's cute and funny. So thank you for that. I think that's a compliment. So thank you, June. So my 10 minutes just ended. Let me pull these out. Give me a fork. I'm gonna pull these out and let you guys see what they look like. I generally just open it up, pull them out, and see if they need to cook a little longer. And I can tell a lot of times without even putting a temperature thermometer in it that they need to cook a little longer. I like my meat medium. Ricky likes them medium well or done. He likes them dry. So I'm gonna turn on just a couple more minutes just to satisfy Ricky. And I do have a thermometer we can check it with if we want to. Yes, Julia, those are some fresh green beans. Now, when I say fresh, let me just tell you, they're not coming out of my garden because I don't have time for a garden. Man, it would be awesome if I did, but I don't. When I say fresh, and this is probably not y'all's idea of fresh, but it is what I call fresh, I'm talking about marketplace green beans. They're washed, they're already clean, they're in a bag. The only ingredients is green beans. So this is what I call fresh green beans. It's not the ones where I have to wash them and pluck off the ends. Even though I used to do that when I was a little girl, I used to help my mom do that. This is what I call fresh. So, yep, they're market side fresh green beans in a bag. Let's see. You can also use frozen green beans for this recipe if you want to. And I don't see why you can't use canned green beans, whatever you guys. I looked years ago. Okay, so Rebecca's talking about her green beans. She was going to check that out. All right, guys, I think I got to the bottom. So we are doing pork chops, yes. Surprise, surprise, we're doing pork chops again. My family loves pork chops, but I want to make sure you guys know just because I cook pork chops all the time doesn't mean you have to. You can 100% substitute pork chops with chicken or turkey cutlets, any kind of meat you want. Most of all the seasonings or sauces I make, you can put on any of the kind of meat you like. Doesn't have to be pork chops. You guys may think I'm boring with pork chops all the time. It's just a I can turn it down. It is a family request. My family loves pork chops. They love pork steaks. They just love pork. So I do have some chicken in the refrigerator, but every day my family, before even lunch hits, before even 1 o'clock, they'll all come to me and say, "What's for dinner tonight?" I'm like, "I haven't even had my first meal and you're asking me about dinner." And they will literally wait and watch for my mouth to move to see if I'm going to say chicken or cauliflower rice. Oh, it's so funny. All right, these are looking delicious. My onions are starting to caramelize. So I'm going to stick them up, try to push them up to the top so they don't burn. Man, that looks so good. My daughter's going to be so excited when she comes home because she thought she was getting oven roasted green beans, but we love these green beans. So look how delicious this is. Just green beans and onions. Now, Rebecca, let me make sure I do tell you, I'm turning this down lower. Let me make sure I do tell you, Rebecca, those onions have carbs too. So you need to look at how many rings of onion rings you're going to put in there or how many cups of diced onions. You kind of have to know how many carbs are in your plate. So if you're just doing the green beans, you'll be fine. The bag. Thank you. I wasn't thinking clearly. So my bag, let me turn this around so y'all can see it. My fresh bag of green beans, it tells me my only ingredient is green beans. That's why I say these are fresh green beans, clean green beans, nothing in there, just green beans. It says 1 cup is the serving size. There are 6 carbs in the cup, but there's 2 fibers, so that is 4 net carbs. Man, I am good. Isn't that what I told y'all? See, I hate trying to memorize, but I was right. 4 net carbs in the cup. So that's pretty good. All right, let's see. Why did your husband try the cauliflower? What do you think, Marie? No. He said that he loves me so much, but he is not eating that cauliflower rice. Okay, guys. All right, I don't see any questions. I hope you guys have an awesome night. I'm just checking to make sure there's no other question before I jump off. I am going to put this recipe back in the comments at the very top of this post. Let's check out these pork chops because they look good. My husband is mowing the grass. It has been pouring down rain and he's mowing the grass. Maybe it dried out a little bit for him today. All right, so look how pretty that is. Now, it may look like your crust is going to burn. Don't worry about it. It ain't going to burn. Now, if you leave it in there forever, it might. So I take that back. But at this point, those look really good. Now, the only way I'm going to know if they're finished is to stick a thermometer in it or cut it to see if they're pink. My husband does not like pink pork chops. They're so weird. I got some weirdos when it comes to that. I say that. I'm sorry. I hope none of y'all are that way. I like a little medium on my meats, but my husband's all about done. He wants it dry. So I'm going to check the thermometer and just see how done these pork chops are and take me one off while I continue cooking his till they're burnt. All right, guys. Any questions? Last chance for questions. All right, guys, I hope you will have a wonderful night. If I've been any help or if I've given you any good ideas for keto or good information, please share these videos. I really love to reach new people. I love to help all of my friends who have been in this journey forever, but always want to reach new people so that we can continue showing how easy it is to change your lifestyle. Guys, I have so many messages in my personal message page telling me all the wonderful things of people and how their lives have changed. I got goosebumps today listening to this one woman telling me how she 100% reversed her diabetes. I can't even tell you because I'm going to start crying. It just makes me feel so good. Oh, I'm going to start crying. It makes me feel so good. So I want to help as many people as I can. So share these videos. I'm sorry, I'm ridiculous. It's been a crazy week. So share these videos. Let's show people how easy it is to change your life, to get out of those diseases that can be reversed, to have a better future for our families. What seasonings did I add to the Parmesan? I just added garlic powder, and that's it. Garlic powder and Parmesan tonight because I'm going to dip the ranch and then the garlic and the Parmesan for the crust. All right, guys, have an awesome night. I'll talk to you later. Bye.